We're back. This is what we're going to be calling chamber chatter.
Okay.
And today we've got Shatina is somebody that when I met, I tell her story all the time in the chamber because it's so funny. But Shatina heard us on the radio on the Gwen Lippert show. And the following day, we were on Sunday night. And the following day, Shatina calls me at the office and says, "Hey, I heard Brad talking on the radio about having some kidney issues." And I said, "Yeah."
Mhm.
She goes, "I just don't think I can get in that chamber." And I said,
Oh,
"Well, you never know till you come down and see what it's all about." And so we talked a little bit. And sure enough, here comes Shatina on Monday morning. And I could see from my office, I could see out to the where she walked in the front door, and she just standing at the front of the chamber, looking in, and I'm like, well, I'll see what she's gonna do. And all of a sudden, she turned around and bolted for the door. She was gonna get the heck out of there. And I ran out and I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I said, "Where are you going?" And she said,
that I was nervous about getting in. I knew I couldn't do the dive because I'm very claustrophobic.
so anyway, we talked for a few minutes,
Mhm.
and I said, the door is open.
Mhm.
Once you step in there, it's going to stay open. If you need to
Mhm.
run out, you can run out. But I
Yes.
said, you can't see at that time at our clinic that we had down there, you couldn't see the fish swimming unless you were sitting in the
Right.
chamber. So I said, why don't you jump in there and you can see the fish swimming by? And she looked at me kind of funny, and she ended up going in to see the fish. And I just let her sit in there for a little bit. And then I went in and sat next to her and I said, "So you're doing good." And we talked for a while. And I said, "Now, it looks totally different in here if we close that door."
Yes.
And she goes, "Well, you can't do that then." And I said, "No, you got to see what it looks like." So I closed the door and
Mm. Yeah, and I was nervous about it, but I was fine, and I feel I was fine because the control was there. You can open the door right back up. So I was a little nervous, but I said, I think I can do this because I was able to sit in there and talk to you with the door closed, and you told me to come back, that we were going to be diving in a little bit and to come back, and I did.
Mhm. So Shatina came back and jumped in the chamber.
Hmm.
We were able to close the door and she got a little anxious. And so what
Yes.
happened? What happened?
I got a little anxious because after finding out that the door is closed, I thought I could just open it right back up and leave if I had a problem. But Miss Sharon, as sweet as she is, she told me to take about 20 minutes to come back up. So I'm sitting in there and I got really nervous. I felt like, what did I get myself into? But I sit there, was 3 of us in there and a dive captain. It was a lady sitting across from me, and she just made me feel so relaxed because she saw me crying and started just rubbing my feet, and I just calmed down and did my dive, and I did another dive later that day as well.
Would it be fair to say that we have a little community here that looks after
Yes.
each other?
Yes, very
Yeah.
safe to say, and I think besides, the treatment that I get for coming and it keeping me, helping me with my kidney issues, the information I learn from people is second to none.
Mm.
They're really wonderful people, good people. I've met a lot of good people here.
Things that you probably will never hear in a doctor's office. Is that fair?
Yes.
Yeah. So a little
Yes.
bit off the reservation, just things that are natural therapies, and
Uh-huh.
a lot of people that are in here are doing this instead of traditional medicine. But what made you come in, or what was your issue that you came to see us?
I came in because my doctor told me I was gonna be on dialysis. She said, "You know, it's gonna happen, it's coming." I did not wanna go on dialysis. My mother is on dialysis, and I knew I didn't want that for myself. So, even though I was nervous and didn't wanna do it, I wanted to come in and see if it was something I could do, and I figured it wasn't, but I've been diving for a couple of years now. My doctor is surprised because 'cause I'm not on dialysis. She continues to say, "This is what you need." She can't believe I feel okay. And I get around, I do things, I work out. I've really been doing good, and I'm telling you, I contributed to this because it's really crazy how it's running rampant in our community. I have a cousin that's on dialysis now. Her numbers were better than mine, and one day she was fine, and the next day she was on dialysis. So I'm just really appreciative of what I get from here, talking to people, sharing with people the fact that I'm not on dialysis and I should have been, and I contributed to this.
Well, for those that'll be watching this, let's talk about numbers a little bit. You
Okay.
know that everything I do here, I try to have measurable results.
Uh-huh.
So the first time that you came in, you were at a stage 5,
Yes.
and your numbers, the one that we're
Fluctuate.
keeping an eye on,
Uh-huh.
your number was at 5, and they told you when it hit 5, you had to go on dialysis.
Uh-huh.
So literally that day, you told me if you were leaving, you were going to have to go to the dialysis clinic.
That was
And when you gave me a little pushback on getting in the chamber, I said, it's right around the corner. Just head on over to the dialysis. And you all of a sudden had a change of heart,
yes.
jumped in the chamber, and that's really what kind of
Right.
drove the vehicle to get you going. So you've now, we were looking at the numbers in the last 2 years, you were diving 2 to 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And we got those numbers down. At one point, they were down to 4.1.
Uh-huh.
It went from 5 down to 4.1.
Mm.
And then you had a surgery.
Uh-huh.
And when you
My
had that
numbers.
surgery, it jumped up to about 4.8.
Yes, my numbers went back up. The
Mhm.
anesthesia medicine was really hard on my kidneys, but I'm doing better again. I make sure I make it in and do my dives. I'm really appreciative of where I am, and I think it was your wife that told me because I was complaining. I wanted things. She said, "But you're not on dialysis. You're not doing it." So I'm very appreciative where I am because I know it could be worse. So coming in 3 times a week is when I come in. I sit with some very beautiful people. We sit in a tank, we communicate, we conversate with each other, and really the hour goes by really quick. It's very few times that people don't talk,
Mm.
you know. So, but I'm just appreciative of where I am because my doctor was saying that you should be on dialysis by now. And she had me coming in about every other month because it's unbelievable. She wants to see me, and if you could see me now, I mean, I look good, I feel good, I don't look sickly because she's always looking like, "You look good, you look fine." She's checking my feet for them swelling and all that, and I'm really doing well, and I know it's contributed to this.
So I'm on the other side of this. I'm looking at our healthcare system that's
Uh-huh.
just out of control. And they keep telling you you need to be doing dialysis. And
Mhm.
dialysis is 4 hours a day, 3 days a week.
Generally,
And
generally,
I've not heard what the cost to your insurance company would be
right,
to do that.
right.
But I know that when you buy a package here, you buy 40 sessions
Mhm.
and it's $75 a session,
Uh-huh.
3 times a week for an hour each time. That's quite a difference in the
It is.
different types of therapy.
Uh-huh.
So that's 150 compared to, if anybody can give me a number, if you see this and you can give us a number, uh, I would love to know what those numbers are. Put it in the comments. I don't know the number for dialysis. So
Okay.
we've talked about it, but you don't know because you're not there.
Nope, I'm
And
not there.
I would, if you can do some investigating, I'd love to find out what that number
The
is.
number is, see what the insurance would say if they would tell me. But
So
yes.
imagine that for 2 years, 3 times a week, that's 50 times 3.
Mhm.
That's 150 times 2. That's 300 times. I have, I'm going to guess it's 300 at least a session,
Mhm.
right? I mean,
Well, I would think it's even more than that if you're talking about dialysis.
yeah. So I'm really would like to get that number because you've done 116 sessions
Mhm,
in 2 years.
mhm.
So that's, just a little better than twice a week.
Yes.
At 75
Uh-huh.
a session, so there's 150 per.
Right.
I mean, when you do the numbers, your doctors never sent anybody over here.
No, no. And a lot of doctors, I mean, I don't think they know about it or believe in it because they don't know. They only know what they know, and I don't fault them. I just think things need to change. people need to hear about this. They need to hear that there's alternatives to help them. Anything to keep, even if I was to be on dialysis the next 2 years, I fought it off
Mhm.
all this
Mhm.
time that I was supposed to be on it a while ago.
Mhm.
I was supposed to be sick. I was supposed to be in the ER. You know, all these problems that was supposed to happen because of my kidney failure. And I think people need to know the alternatives. They need to push things that's more healthy for them because that's hard on your body.
Mhm.
And generally, people that's on dialysis, a lot of them don't live past 5 years,
Mhm.
8 years, 10 years. So,
Your mom's been real fortunate. She's 10 years in, I
yes,
think, and
yes.
it's because of your mom's background that you were so adamant to do something
Mhm.
different.
I saw
When
with what she was going through
Mhm.
that I didn't want to go through that. Her quality of life is very limited. A lot of times she come home and she's tired, you know, she's yeah, just not as mobile as I am. And I keep going and her doctor say, "Well, you're younger." But no, you still have problems, have issues. Like I said, I have a cousin that was she was better than me, but now she's on dialysis and she's tired. She don't have the energy,
Mhm.
and she's younger than me. So it's yeah,
So, in your journey over the last 2 years, this hasn't been just hyperbaric air, not hyperbaric oxygen, but it's not been just hyperbaric air.
right.
You've met other people that come here.
Hmm.
I think Keith Bishop worked with you a little bit, and
Uh
then
huh.
Josh Fate.
Hmm.
And there's a couple of other things that you're doing. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Right. I'm at this particular point in time. I'm also drinking Camel's milk. I'm talking to other people that has been in the tank. Camel's milk has really helped them. So I'm drinking Camel's milk to see what that do for me. I'm looking at numbers, and I just started Camel's milk not too long ago. So I'm just checking to see how numbers go. I was taking some vitamins. I do very awful at taking pills, and I just have not kept that up. The pills are very hard for me to swallow, but I'm been drinking this Camel's milk faithfully
You
and
know, you
kind of
can
see.
pop those capsules apart and dump it into the camel's milk and
Oh, I
switch it
didn't
up.
never
Yeah,
thought about doing
yeah.
that.
So if there's capsules, and I know that I saw, wasn't it tart cherry?
Is one of
Do
them.
you know what the other things were that was the protocol that was given to you that now I'm learning you're not doing the whole protocol? So when we get off here, I'm going to beat you up. But anyway, there's some other things
It's
that were in that protocol.
three corn seed. I can't. I wouldn't.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'll talk to Betty. Is there a way for, I got a picture and a list of those components that really has done a lot of people that are dealing with um, kidney renal failure. And I'd like to post that if we can somewhere. We'll, it, now that you all know that there is a protocol, if
Uh-huh.
you have an interest in this, please give us a call and we'll share what that is. But I know that's what Brad did to restore his kidney function,
Okay.
and that's where this all kind of came from. Is
Right.
Brad is monitoring. He's very into a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to keep as healthy as he can. So
Right.
he does that protocol,
Okay.
the one that we're talking about.
Yes, Brad, the one that I heard the story of that has done so well and why I'm here today.
Cool. Well, that's what I wanted to do. If you got anything else to tell somebody that may be a little anxious about getting into a hyperbaric chamber, what would it be?
Yes, I would tell you, please give it a chance. Please give it a try. Please try alternatives because the medical community is not telling us other things that can help. I really don't think they're allowed to. I don't know if they know or allowed to. And to this day, I'm very appreciative for coming here 2 years ago
Mhm.
when I could have been doing dialysis, and really the quality of my life wouldn't be where it is now. And I talk about that, but I talk about the awesome people that I have met. Paul and Sharon has brought together. It's really a blessing, and I'm just really thankful and appreciative of the whole staff that I have worked with. A guy I work with him the most in the tank and diving. I don't come in the evening as often to work with other people, and working with Betty at the front desk. Everyone is just really just nice and very helpful and caring and very welcoming.
Well, thank you for all the kind words, and thank you for sharing what you're getting out of this.
Mhm.
We love you.
I love
We
you
love
too,
you.
Paul.
All right. So anyway, we look forward to doing another one of these down the
Okay.
road
Okay.
when those numbers continue to improve.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here on Chamber Chatter. We're anxious. Betty's working up something that's going to say Chamber Chatter on an intro